Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
Today Donald Trump confused Iceland for Greenland 4 times. What are your thoughts on this? If it was Biden, it would be front page of all the media shouting he's too old and losing his marbles. But Obama, tan suits, but her emails, he's too old, her laugh, though, all it takes is a light dash of talking points, sprinkle in a little pinch of thinly veiled ISMS, and then throw it in an oven set to 6th grade reading comprehension level. Voila, you have yourself a recipe for ruin. Old man with declining cognitive abilities makes another mistake. Don't panic, however, it's not like he's in any position of, oh, shit. It's 25th time losers. Hop on. Please note that the 25th is a higher bar than impeachment. And unless 2/3 RDs of each House of Congress is on board, it's like shooting a rhino with a .22. I think he's a fucking moron. But I thought that long before today. That's why mums go to Greenland. Big shout out to the American Redditors who won't have a clue what this means. Explain it to us. He's obviously got dementia and it's getting steadily worse. He tries to hide it with various techniques, like making up statistics on basically anything, because he can't remember the real figures, and calling people, a very nice woman from Venezuela, when referring to the opposition leader who gave him her Nobel Peace Prize because, despite having just met her, he can't recall her name. He's also becoming less inhibited in the way he talks and acts in general, which are all classic signs of dementia. I'm also willing to bet my house that he didn't ace his recent cognitive tests. I've actually done the Montreal test myself, and one of the tasks is to remember 5 words you were told once at the beginning of the test and recount them all a few minutes later. There's no way he passed that bit in particular, not a chance. There's no way he gets through the next 3 years, so at least we can be grateful for that. He's declining way too fast. Although I doubt Vance will be much better, at least he is less likely to wake up one morning in a deluded state and decide to launch a nuclear strike on Mexico or Denmark. I wish I was joking about that, by the way. The fact that he's taken 3 or 4 of them in the past year means they're not looking for dementia anymore. They're monitoring it. He's definitely declining quite rapidly. I don't have an issue that the media excoriated Biden for his flubs. Clearly he was in mental decline. What I hate is that when Trump does even worse, and far more frequently, it's just largely ignored or couched in language like, Trump apparently confused Iceland and Greenland. And then we got a line from his rabid bitch Caroline Levitt about how he actually said, piece of ice. Which, beyond the absurdity of the lie, one questions why a piece of ice would be so important to antagonize allies over. Caroline Levitt is the queen of political gaslighting, and yet the American public, well, the MAGAs, do not realize it. She's basically the second most chronically dishonest person in the US. Her boss, of course, is the first. She just reminds me of a mean high school girl who will say anything just to say something. She has to know how delusional and insane all this is, right? Dementia. It's dementia on top of his existing monumental stupidity and ignorance, and sociopathy. My thoughts are that he rapes children and is a malignant narcissist with frontotemporal dementia and a penchant for confabulation. You are too kind. Par for the course with him. The dude thinks taking a cognitive test for dementia means he's smart and sharp. The same guy rails against DEI while failing to note every facet of his life has been facilitated by a handout, starting from his admission to colleges and prep schools he was too stupid to attend, just because the check from his dad would clear. I'm starting to think his dementia made him imagine a cognitive test. Okay, so I actually do this for a living, and in what we call our testing battery, we will usually give the dementia tests as well as an IQ intelligence test, because those tests look at spatial reasoning, processing speed, perceptual reasoning, verbal fluency, and working memory. If one or several of these measures are low, or if they have super low measures on memory tests but not the IQ tests, we can differentiate between Alzheimer's, dementia, including Lewy body, major neurocognitive disorder, etc. It's pretty cool. Anyways, Trump is an idiot. Release the Epstein files. These Epstein files piss me off. What was done there was nothing short of despicable, and neither Trump nor that fucking Andrew will see any justice. I honestly see it heading that way. It will just fade away and those girls won't get any justice or peace. Trump is low IQ. He flaunts it and people seem to love it. Both these things make me wanna puke. He's an octogenarian dumbass who has no business being anywhere near a position of influence. But that's my thoughts on gestures broadly, all of it. He's barely 3 years younger than the other guy, too old for the job. A bunch of morons picked the stupidest person available to represent them. He reminds them of themselves. Idiots wanted someone as stupid as they are. Same as always, he's a cunt. Anyone grounded in reality has known the emperor has no clothes for some time now. And his sycophant Caroline Levitt is insisting he didn't confuse them. She's claiming he called Greenland a piece of ice. Quote, I had to fact check and feel flabbergasted that this is reality. It's getting hard to tell the difference between reality and satire these days. He needs to be removed from office for mental decline. If anything, the mental decline is a positive compared to the myriad other reasons he should be removed from office. Imagine what destruction he'd be causing if he wasn't completely melted, if this is what he can accomplish while running on fumes. Well, none of those other issues have gotten him removed, and that thought sure is scary. Perspective from my age of 78. Such word switches become more frequent with age. It's an irritant. Then there are senior moments when a familiar word can't be fetched just when it's needed to complete a sentence. Iceland, for Greenland, could happen. For me, fundamental concepts remain sound, even if the switch of nouns might be jarring. So if you hear me in the produce section of the grocery asking for cellulite instead of cilantro, I'm still more mentally sound than you might imagine. But I shouldn't be president. I'd be interested in an armor that was from a random aged individual who would post that thought-out response, much less be on Reddit at 78. I feel you have much wisdom to share. I like you already. I am Jack's complete lack of surprise. Great, Fight Club reference. I love it. Billy Crystal told us 39 years ago what the problem was. He's not all dead, he's only mostly dead. He's had a stroke and definitely has dementia. Add to that he's an evil idiot, and it all makes sense. Senility. I bet he couldn't locate either on a map by himself. I bet he couldn't locate either on a map if someone moved his finger to it. He couldn't locate a map by himself. He'd hold up a menu. Dementia Don. He's an idiot. He's stupid. He's senile. He's an incompetent racist, rapist, pedophile. He's a goddamn moron. I'm from Germany and my grandma has said that what he's doing reminds her of a certain dictator from Austria. I don't understand how the majority of Americans voted this clown back into office a second time even after all the shit he's done the first time. Can't fix stupid, I guess. Propaganda is one hell of a drug. So, tired of winning. Obligatory tag because that's something that failed to convey through posting. Typical American ignorance. Nothing to see here. He is clearly in rapidly declining mental health, but most of his cousin humping constituents probably think the two islands are one and the same. Cousin humping constituents. LMAO, I spat beer on my phone after that one. Then my work here is done. Grin. He says whatever things pop into his addled brain. Most of it has no basis in reality, but every bit of it is consequential. His administration stands absolutely behind it, as do his media and followers. Oh, and the ones in military gear with weapons. Tomorrow, or in a few minutes, he'll say or tweet something in direct opposition to what he said earlier. And they'll run with it. My thoughts. Not much I can do about it, but I have zero respect for anyone involved with or supporting a regime that has no set of immutable principles they can evoke. What are their values? Gotta check their phones first because he might have said something. Also, unfit for office. I love how the White House press secretary completely denied this happened. They're like those see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil monkeys. My thoughts. We've been circling the drain for years, but nobody is coming to save us. And the worst part is, there are millions of morons applauding. The President of the United States currently embodies some of the worst aspects of humanity. I look forward to passing air through my nose when I read his obituary and it says he was the biggest peace prizer of them all. I think he's a rapist and a pedophile. In the Venn diagram of incoherent panic screaming, sobbing for help, and angry wall punching, I am dead center. WW3 is gonna be started by the dumbest motherfucker in the country. And millions of people voted for it. Trump is pedo-rapist conman. I would bet at least 80% of his followers don't know the difference, either. So face with hand over mouth. His brain is clearly melting. He's an idiot. That's my thoughts. He's a moron and, unfortunately, a perfect reflection of American isolationism that persists among a lot of Americans, folks who know very little about the world outside of the USA, and their ignorance is rightly interpreted as disdain for the rest of the world. Looks like the Vikings naming strategy worked. https://www.youtube.com/shorts/c_4-PDIPTN4. Dumbass Donald. $100 says he will claim he needs to invade Iceland now instead of ever admitting to a mistake. I guess when you're the former president, even geography gets a little fuzzy. Next, he'll be asking where Canada is on the map. Fuzzy. Troll. Dampede. So lil. AOC said it best, decompensating in front of the whole world. Mothers are being shot in the face, kids are being abducted, the elderly are being abused, rights are being violated, and families are being destroyed on his orders. Yes, he's a grossly incompetent moron. But he's also a hateful horror show in festering orange makeup with very real power and nobody holding him accountable. Dementia. His written remarks referred to Greenland as a piece of ice, because that's what it is. You're the only one mixing anything up here. Caroline, is she fucking serious right now? Levitt. I think he is a stupid asshole and the people responsible for his presidency are all pieces of shit. Tell him to watch Mighty Ducks 2 for the explanation. Literally my first thought when I heard about it this morning. Yay, he's a fucking idiot. He's an idiot. Greenland, Iceland, as long as it's cold and he can try to buy it, it's all the same to him.